Hi, I'm Gail and welcome to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Last week I did a video on Diedre's Kitchen low-carb bread, and I decided this week I'm going to do the same low-carb bread, but I'm going to measure it by grams. And the reason I'm doing this is because I've become friends with Jackie, and she has a Facebook page called Just Jackie Low Carb Recipes. Sorry, it's just Jackie Low Carb. And she has a video on there of Diedre's bread, and she weighed everything. And I found when I weighed everything, my bread came out of the bread machine. Like, what I did was I mixed it in the bread machine, then I took it out and kneaded it and then baked it in the oven. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I found it just turned out beautifully. So here is some of my bread here that I did, and I measured it because I found when I did my own measurements, as in just in cups and stuff, my dough was sticky. It was hard to work with. Whereas when I did per gram, when I weighed all the ingredients, it came out perfect, that I could work with it, and it was just lovely. So we're going to do the video again with grams and weighing them. I'm going to show you how to weigh them so that you can get a perfect bread. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you the products that I'm using to make this bread. So I am going to use oat fiber, and it is Anthony's. We'll get this here. Anthony's Organic. Now you have to, I can't find it anywhere other than buying it online. In Canada, I've been told by a special person that you can get it at Low Carb Grocery, which is cheaper than Amazon. You just look online and you'll be able to find it somewhere. So I ordered this on Amazon. And then another product that we definitely need is Vital Wheat Gluten, and I can find that everywhere in the grocery stores. That's not an issue at all. Then the next product that we use is Xanthan Gum, and that's Bob's Red Mill that I'm using, but I don't think it really matters on the brand name. I'm not sure. Our erythritol. Now I buy it at the bulk barn. I buy it in bulk. It's cheaper than buying it in the package. But and I powder mine also. I never, usually hardly ever use the granular kind. My yeast, now SAF yeast is supposed to be amazing, but mine has been working very, very well, so I'm not going to complain. Then I've got my golden flaxseed. I grind it up myself. It's cheaper that way, and I pick mine up at the bulk barn, and I keep it in the fridge once I've got it ground up. And then we have our salt, we have our hot water, we have our butter, and we have our eggs. So I just wanted to show you that part. And today I'm going to do my recipe by weighing everything, because the last time I made it, I weighed it. Just Jackie, she has a Facebook page, and she's working on doing a YouTube channel, so we can learn lots from her also. She weighed all her stuff, so I'm going to weigh it just so that you can see how it works. So I'm going to turn on my scale, and it shows 0, and I've got it on. Oh, got to get it on grams. Okay, so it's at 0. So this is the dish I'm going to use for the dry ingredients. So if you can see right now, it weighs 165 grams. So now I'm going to press the button. So now that weight is in there, and now I'm going to start adding my other ingredients. So I want 192 grams. 192 grams. You can see that the scale shows 0 right now. So we're just going to, now we're at 36. 80. Okay, 130. I don't want to go overboard on this. 175, 185. Okay, that's 193. I'm just going to take a tad out to get a different thing here. That's there we go, 192. So that's the measurement we needed for the Vital Wheat gluten. Now the next one, we need our oat fiber. So I am going to hit the button to cancel it out, because now we're going to add in 84 grams of oat fiber. And this is my oat fiber again. Okay. It's worth the measurements, I think, because it turned out beautiful for me. So I'm at 0, and now we're going to watch. We're at 10, 11, 23. Okay, now I got to be careful here. 31, 32, 34, 36, 37, 38. Perfect. Okay. Now the next is our flaxseed, my golden flaxseed. You can use dark flaxseed also. It depends on what you want. So this time I am going to put in 84 grams. So we're going to time out. $84 grams is what we need. We're at 40, 50, 65, 71, 78, 82. Okay, I've got 86, so I've got to take out just a little bit. And you'll be okay because you've got it sitting on top, so you're not going to mix it up with all the other. A little bit more. There you go, 84. Perfect. So those are the only ones that you really have to measure. So I'm just going to remove and leave my bowl there, and I have to add in 4 tablespoons of erythritol. Now I powder my erythritol. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And I need 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. 1. I'm almost out of my salt. I don't have regular table salt and 1/4. I use Himalayan salt, but you can use either one as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to mix this all up. So just take your time and mix all the dry ingredients together. And now we're going to get out my bread machine, because I don't have one of those big industrial blend mixers or whatever you want to call them. So I'm using the bread machine, and that's going to mix all my ingredients together. There we go, that's mixed really well. I just about made an error, and I'm glad I caught it, because I want to make sure we have this all right. Our xanthan gum, you need 1/2 teaspoon. Now let's mix this all up again. Okay, so now I just need to measure my wet ingredients. So I've got my weigh scale again. I have it on grams, and I'm just going to put my bread maker machine, the dish, onto the scale. Now I'm going to time it out. Now it's back to 0. So I need 200 grams of hot tap water. So I'm pouring it in. You can see it moving up in the weight. 114, 48, 61, 97, 197, 98, 200, exactly, perfect. Okay, and so now since I've done that, I can take it off and I'm going to put it back into the bread machine. Now I've got 2 beaten white eggs, and I'm just going to pour that into the water in the bread mixer. Now I'm going to take all my dry ingredients, and I'm just going to get a spoon so I don't have powder flying all over the place. I'm going to take my bread mixture, my dried ingredients, and I'm going to put it, scooping it, because if I dump it in, I'm just going to see a big cloud, and I don't want it all over the place. Yeah, we got it low enough I can do it. Perfect. I need to measure my butter, and so I'm going to turn on my scale. It's in grams. I'm going to put on my plate because now it's given the weight of the plate, and then I'm going to time out to back to 0, and now I need 30 grams of butter. So I'll just put, there's 15, 27, oh, it jumped back, so that's 25, 27. I was so surprised, and I don't know if it was just luck, but when I weighed it, I got beautiful bread. So we're going to do it this way and see if this helps you as well as it helped me so much. And it was Jackie's suggestion and her measurements. 29, I'm being very slow at this. 30, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take the butter and I'm just going to drop it in all around the edges. Well, almost all around the edges. Come on. There we go. Now we're going to make a little well, like a little hole in the center of the, there we go, of the dry ingredient. And then we are going to add in our, so what I've done for the honey, I guess I didn't show you that ingredient at the beginning. So once I get the lid back on, I'll show you what product I am using, but you want a raw honey. I have Pam coconut spray, and I've sprayed my teaspoon on both sides. That way when you want to measure your teaspoon of honey, you put that in the little well that you've made. The honey comes out lovely off of the spoon, so you don't have having to scrape it off or whatever. So that's a nice little trick to have when you're using it. And there's the honey that I used. So now I need a heaping tablespoon of yeast. We're going to put it right on top of the honey. So there's my heaping tablespoon of yeast. And again, that's the kind I used. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mix my bread in the bread maker, and then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in a loaf pan and bake and let it rise and bake it in the oven. So I'm just going to get this started. So I'm going to it does help if you plug it in. Okay. So I don't think I really have to do anything with the crust, but I'm just going to put it on a regular crust and basic bread. And I'm going to push the button to start. And mine, this is a Black & Decker. It's an old one. And it sits for 15 minutes and it kind of heats it up a little bit to get it started. So the first time I did is, when do I take it out? When it stops mixing all together, that's when I take it out. So I've got 15 minutes before it even gets going, and I'll get back to you. So it's been sitting there for 15 minutes and my bread machine just turned on. And while I am waiting, I just want to show you, here's my bread. I made a bacon and cheese toasted sandwich and it turns out quite lovely. I'm very happy with this recipe. It's amazing, and I want to thank Diedre again and again. So I'll put the lid back on and let it do its thing. So this is what you want it to look like when it's kneading or working the dough in the machine. You want it to be a ball. And once this is done, then I can take it out. So now I'm going to take it out of my bread maker and I'm going to start preparing to make my bread. So I've taken it out of the bread maker and now I'm to knead it. And I'm really intimidated by kneading because I'm not used to it. So my first loaf of bread, I had my husband show me how to do it because he's one of the boys, there's 7 of them, and he's a twin, and he lost his dad when he was 12, and he all the boys learned how to bake, how to do wonderful pastries, you name it. It was just, he's just so talented. He can sew, he can darn socks, just great. So hopefully I'm doing as well as he has because I don't have him here to help me. But I did go on YouTube and I looked at the videos on how to knead, and that's what I highly recommend, and it looks like I'm doing pretty good with it. I don't have to add any kind of flour or anything on the bottom of the cutting board because it's just a great texture what I have right at the moment. So now I just want to knead it. I'm basically folding it towards me and I'm just trying to make it all smooth, which it almost is. And just hope that I can do a great job like my husband did. So that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to get my greased pan. So I'm just going to move my pan over. I bought a new loaf pan. I actually borrowed one from my girlfriend, and this one's, I think it's 9 by 5, 9.25 by 5.56. So if you can get a 10 by 6, or if you can get a size this, it works beautifully. I really like it. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I actually used my spray coconut oil. I'm going to spray my saran wrap, and I'm going to just lay the saran wrap over top. I've got my kettle starting to boil here. I think you can hear it. And I'm going to take a 4-cup measuring cup full of boiling water, and I'm going to set it in the microwave with the loaf to let it rise, and I'm going to close the door and just let it sit there and it'll rise. So I've got it sitting, 4 cups of boiling water sitting inside the microwave with my dough, and I'm just going to let it sit and rise. My loaf has been in for 1 hour and 3/4. I'm going to take it out because it's still going to rise when it's in the oven also. I probably could have finished the top a little smoother than what I did, but it still looks like a great bread. So it's going in the oven at 350 for approximately 30 minutes. So I just took my bread out of the oven, and you can see here that I didn't do the greatest on my kneading to make it look perfect. Now I'll put a picture on my site where my husband did his, and it's amazing. So it takes practice, guys, and if you're really keep working at it, you'll make it perfect, and I'm going to keep working at it too. But the bread is delicious, so that's the most important part. So what I'm going to do, now Jackie, she is on Facebook page, Just Jackie, Low Carb. She's just starting up her Facebook blog, and she's made this bread, and she does a beautiful job, and I want you to go and follow her and start helping her do well with her site, because she is doing some beautiful stuff. And also what she's recommending is we take it out of the oven and we let it sit for 10 minutes. Once we've had it sit for 10 minutes, then we're going to tip it over on its side for 10 minutes, and then we're going to tip it on the other side for 10 minutes. And I think that just helps with, you know, balancing it, airing it, getting the heat out of the sides and everything else. So that's what I did with the last loaf. It turned out beautifully, and I'm going to do it again with this one, and hopefully you'll give it a try also. And also Jackie is hoping to put a YouTube channel up. So just keep looking for it, because I'm sure you'll find it. Anyway, I'll turn it over after 10 minutes on its side, and then after 10 minutes turn it on the other side, and then we will show the results. So here is my low carb bread by Diedre's Kitchen. Now, it was kind of silly. I didn't end my video. I didn't finish my video, and a girlfriend of mine, she asked me to bake this bread for her, and I actually sold it to her. And she's very happy, but I forgot to end my video. So this is just what I have left. I have pictures of them, but I didn't finish my video, which is kind of strange on my behalf. But anyway, you go to lowcarbrecipeideas.com, try Diedre's Kitchen low carb bread, and thank you Jackie from Just Jackie Low Carb on her Facebook page, and we'll see you in the next video. Go to lowcarbrecipeideas.com. Bye-bye.